could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight.
But I think the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small.
But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve,
hating the Who's.
Jane, move your head.
Down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm-lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath.
And they're hanging their stockings.
He snarled with a sneer.
Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here.
then he frowned, his Grinch fingers nervously thrumming.
I must find a way to keep Christmas from coming.
For tomorrow he knew all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys and then the noise. Oh, the noise! Noise! That's one thing he hated.
Noise.
You can do that down. Like I do. Joshua,
And
be
they
happy.
freeze.
It doesn't even matter.
And there roast beef.
Which was something the Grinch could not stand in the least. And then they do something he liked least of all. The Who's down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. The Who's would join hands, and the Who's would start singing. And they'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing. Sing.
And the more the Grinch thought of this Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought,
Stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must find a way to keep Christmas from coming. But how?
Then he got an idea. An awful idea.
Grinch got a wonderful.
Awful idea. I know just what to do.
the Grinch laughed in his throat and made his sense on hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked.
What a great Grinchy trick. This coat and this hat. I'll look just like St. Nick. All I need is a reindeer.
The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. But did that stop the old Grinch? No. The Grinch simply
If
said,
I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead.
So he called his dog Max, and he took a red thread, and he tied a big horn to the top of his head.
then the Grinch called,
Giddy up.
and the sleigh started down towards the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. All the windows were dark.
Quiet snow filled the air.
All the Who's were all dreaming.
Sweet dreams, the duck came when he came to the first little house on the square.
This is stop number 1.
The old Grinchy claws hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist.
Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch.
He got stuck only once. For a moment. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue where the little Who's stockings all hung in a row.
These stockings
He grinched.
are the first things to go.
Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. Pumpkins,
Bicycles!
Roller skates,
drums, checkerboards,
Bicycles!
popcorn,
and plums, and he stuck them in bags.
And the Grinch very nimbly stuck all of the bags one by one up the chimney.
then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's face.
He took the hoop, but he took the roast beef.
He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash.
Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash.
And he shoved all the food up the chimney with glee.
And now,
Grinned the Grinch,
I will step up the tree.
and the Grinch grabbed a tree, and he started to shout.
When he heard the small sound, like the coo of a dove.
He turned real fast, and he saw a small Who.
The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter who'd gone out of bed for a cup of cold water. And she stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking all Christmas to me? Why?
But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought of a lie, and he thought it up quick.
Why, my sweet little tot.
The fake Santa Claus lied.
There's a light on this tree. The bulb's light on one side. So I'm taking it back to my workshop, I hear. I'll fix it up there, and I'll bring it back here.
and he got her drink.
And he sent her to bed.
And when Cindy Lou Who was in bed with Holcomb, he went to the chimney and stopped the tree up.
The last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire.
And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse.
Then he did the same thing to the other whose houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other whose mouses. It was 15:15 dawn.
Who was still abed?
Who's still snooze?
He packed up his sled with their presents,
The ribbons,
The wrappings.
and the tinsel,
the trimmings,
The trappings.
3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet. He rode with his load to the tip-top to dope it.
Who's?
He was Grinchishly humming.
They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up, I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open for a moment or two. Then all the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, Boo-hoo. That's a sound
Grinned the Grinch.
that I simply must hear.
So he paused, and the Grinch put a hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow.
but that sound wasn't sad. Why, that sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry. Very.
He stared down at Whoville. The grin caught his eye.
Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing with...
Without any presents at all.
He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It changed.
Somehow or other, it came just the same. And that Grinch with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow stood there puzzling and puzzling.
How could it be so? It came without ribbons, it came without tags, it came without packages, boxes, or bags.
He puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before.
Maybe Christmas
He thought,
doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas
perhaps,
means a little bit more.
And what happened then?
Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight,
he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light.
And he brought back a
and
toy.
it flew for